Welcome to another exciting episode of Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Papergoy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
Mr. Magazine, I'm going to task you with a job today.
Okay.
I need you to give all of our dedicated viewers a pep talk about finding good stuff. And will they, and how will they, and just a pep talk about finding good things when they're sourcing.
All right. Well, I would say first, and I source differently. Obviously, a lot of people come to me, or I have my sources all over the country. I don't do estate sales or Goodwill and stuff like that. But I would say keep your head up and just stay determined and keep doing whatever your system is. If you're going to an estate sale, keep going to them. If you're losing out, maybe go a little earlier. Don't get discouraged. If you're going to garage sales or Goodwill, keep doing what you're doing. And if you get a slow time, don't quit. Just keep up with it, and then it'll all work out. So that's what I would say.
That's really not much of a pep talk, Mr. Magazine.
Do it. Just do it.
There you go.
Don't be a quitter. Yo, Adrian.
Why would you get discouraged?
Well, if you're not finding anything to sell, guess what? You're not making money. You can't sell it if you don't have it. So sales could be down. You can't pay your bills because sales are down. The economy could be in the tank, and then, it's even worse. So then even if you're finding stuff, maybe you're not finding good stuff. And if it's not selling or selling very cheap and you're not making much money. So, some people, this is their livelihood and they need to have something. So you got to figure out a different way then. So, if you're striking out a Goodwill every week, you got to find another place. Go on Facebook, go on Craigslist. Somewhere you have to find something. There's a million options out there. You just have to find one that you can be successful at and keep up with it. Do it.
Well, I think one of the reasons why people get discouraged, and tell me if you agree or disagree with this,
okay,
are because there are so many people out there blowing hot air.
Yeah, a lot, especially on Instagram. I mean, it's like a whole boatload of gamblers. They're telling you when you hit the big score, and not all the times they don't have the big score, And, it's definitely misleading, for sure.
Well, and then the other thing is there are people out there who just want to get clicks, and they may be less than honest. And I'll tell you how. I could go and buy, I don't know, a $5,000 comic book right now. And I could throw it in the middle of a box of comics. And I could go, I don't know even what's in here. I just bought these comics from the flea market for $100. Let's go through it. Oh my God!
Right.
There's a $5,000. That's a $5. Look at this. Or a $20,000 comic,
right,
and sit there and scream and yell and this and that. And guess what? It wasn't in there.
Yeah.
Really, really unlikely that $5,000 high grade Amazing Spider-Man number 50 was in that entire box. That's the rest of the box is filled with Archies.
Right.
Not real likely.
Yeah.
And so on. And so you don't even necessarily know the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm out there just trying to get views, I pay $5,000 for that comic. I salt it in something.
Yeah.
Oh my God, get a lot of views, and then I sell it for $5,000. So I essentially broke even. I rented it for a while.
Yeah.
And
but you got some people
I got a lot of views.
Yeah.
I went viral. I get all the money off that. I get the hype for that. And oh my gosh. So you'll sit there and you'll see that and don't necessarily believe it, number one. Yeah. Now, I will 100% tell you can believe every bolo we put up. You can check them yourself, and you can 100% believe every haul video that we do.
Yeah.
If you've watched our haul videos, it's not like I'm pulling $500, $1,000 items out. It's like, well, this is a $60 item I picked up for 50 cents.
Yeah, right.
I do that, and that happens regularly.
Yeah.
But
it's like a gambler mentality. Like, I know gamblers, and once a month they'll say, oh my God, I just won 500. But I don't hear the other times they go because they're losing. Or these Instagrammers that do these card breaks. There's no way they're pulling $5,000 and $10,000 cards out of these packs on a regular basis. It's just impossible. You hear all these stories. This is 100,000. This is 50,000. It's the same breakers over and over again. It's just not possible.
Right. Yep. And so don't be discouraged. And another thing to keep in mind is a lot of times take the prices that they quote with a grain of salt. Mm-hmm. And how often has Mr. Magazine talked about some card is worth $100 in PSA 10 and somebody walks in with it and they're like, oh, there's a $100 card. And no, it's a 40-cent card.
Yeah.
Yours is not PSA 10.
Okay.
So I could sit there and say, oh, this is, and go to the high mark of all time.
Yeah.
No, it's not that.
There's a funny one from Instagram. I watch the card breaks all the time. So supposedly this father, 14 years ago, filmed himself opening up a pack of cards, or 15 years ago, was it? And people really weren't doing that back then. Because what was back then, 14 years? Was Facebook even around?
I have no idea.
Yeah, so nothing was really around. Instagram certainly was around. And he's going through this pack of 1999 Bowman or whatever, and there's a signed like 1 of 1 or something of Mike Trout, or it's a low number one. It's like a $100,000 card or something like that. And he goes through and he finds it goes, Mike Trout, I wonder who he is. And he puts it down. Someone really recorded that 14 years ago. I mean, come on, and now it's $100,000. And it's just crazy.
But another thing you need to keep in mind is, and I've been having, and I will admit it, I've been having some very good luck when I've been going to the sales lately.
Or you're just getting smarter, expanding your knowledge, taking more chances.
Thank you for stealing my thunder, Mr. Magazine.
Why? I can't compliment you? Jeez.
But indeed, that is absolutely what's happening. Being retired, I have more time. Mm-hmm. So I can look at the books a little slower. I can look in the nooks and crannies of the house a little more, as opposed to, well, I hit the sale, but it's my lunch hour at work, and I got to get back to work, and I can't spend very much time in here, and I got to get going, and I do the quick run through and find the things that are just sitting out. Now I have the ability, if there's a pile of sheet music, I can go through every single piece.
Well, then we won't have to hear you a few days later when you're looking on that other guy's site and saying, geez, that was there? I didn't see that. Now you can't have no excuse. You got to see it all. As long as you get there,
I was just going to say, unless he gets there before me. But I've also been doing this 25 years, and I'm really honing in on a few different niches, and that really helps as well, being able to do that, and I'm finding better things.
Yeah.
But if you're just starting out, or you've been doing it 5 years, 10 years, trust me, for many, many, many years, I would sit there, and part of it might be my personality. I tend to sit there and go, oh, yeah, I just found a $100 item. How did he find a $300 item at the same sale I was at? Geez, I should have bought that box. But I always took it as an inspiration that he found a $300 item and he knows more than I do, and he knew enough to go, and a lot of times they would say things like, oh, this was hidden down at the bottom of the box.
Yeah.
Okay, make sure I go all the way down to the bottom of the box. Make sure I do that, So I would sit there and learn from all the people that were finding the good things.
Sure.
And you can as well on that. And you're going to find the good things. But again, I hear about these people, and part of it might be just the niches that I'm in. But you hear about, oh, I found this $1,000 pair of shoes. I found this $2,000 this. I found this
Nike
$1,000
pair from the first Nike Jordans. It's $100,000. I hear stuff like that all the time.
Well, and I believe these people could be finding $1,000, $2,000 items.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess it's just a little more exciting when you find some rare single stitch T-shirt than it is when, oh, I found some 1843 book. Yeah, super. You know what I mean? It's just kind of a whole different world. The book area just doesn't tend to have the flash.
I could have 1843 Levi's.
Well, I don't know if they were doing it back then, but if they were, they'd be worth $1 gazillion. Exactly. But definitely do keep your head up. Again, I've seen things change a lot for the positive in my sourcing lately. And again, the stuff's probably been out there all the time. I just am taking the time to slow down, taking the time to find it, and I'm finding better things. And you will too. Just get out there, and I think that's probably, unless you're Mr. Magazine, you're not going to have stuff stroll in. If you're sitting in your living room, you're probably, as a general rule, not going to be able to find big lots of stuff. I mean, again, unless you're actively searching Facebook Marketplace or searching Craigslist or whatever. But whatever way you source, keep sourcing. Keep your head up, keep sourcing, keep your eyes open, try to learn as much as you can. There are great things out there all the time. I'm finding good things regularly. You can as well. Hopefully that's uplifting enough for you. Do hit the like button if you could, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.